Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you happen to be new here, welcome to the Painted South. So for the first fall DIY, I started with these old bangle bracelets that I found in my closet. I bought these years ago. I can't even remember when, it's been so long. I really love the shiny metallic finishes on them. To secure all of these bracelets together, I used a small piece of brown floral wire and I wrapped it tightly around all of the bracelets, which gave me a pretty pumpkin shape. And then I took several scrap pieces of grapevine and hot glued them together to make a stem. Next, I added quite a bit of hot glue to hold the stem in place and also to secure the bracelets and to try to keep them in that pumpkin shape. To hide all of that hot glue, I used Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle. And then on top of that brown color, I layered a gold paint over it, and I also went up the grapevine stem. This entire basket was a $2 thrift store find, and I actually had it back in a box to go back to the thrift store. But then I was looking at it and I thought I can use several of these pieces out of this arrangement in today's projects. For this project, I only used one pick out of the basket. It already had gold accents painted on the leaves, so they worked really well with this pumpkin. And then I hot glued a few of those on, but I also painted the acorns gold so that they would tie in as well. I used this Rust-Oleum metallic gold paint and I painted a Dollar Tree glass candlestick. I then added 14 karat gold paint for a brushed gold effect. And then to give it more of an antique gold look, I brushed on Coffee Bean by Dixie Belle. So I decided to repurpose this lid from a previous DIY. It already had twine on it and it was the perfect size. I sanded the top of the candlestick to rough up the surface, and then I glued the lid to it using some more hot glue. I filled the lid with moss, and then I used that moss to hide the battery pack for a set of copper wire fairy lights, which I think are from the Dollar Tree. And here is how the upcycled bangle bracelet pumpkin turned out. Now for the next DIY, I'm going to use something that I painted a few years ago. And if you want to do something like this, you can choose any color you want, any background you want, any fabric you can put in the back. This is paintable wallpaper. You could even use contact paper or decoupage napkins on here. Absolutely anything for the background, or even just burlap or whatever you want to put back there. The options are endless. If you find one without the glass that just has this, that's perfect. So this is just a yellow color. Actually, it's several different colors that I painted a few years ago. I need to get the glitter off. This was in storage, and everything of my seasonal decor usually ends up with some type of glitter from Christmas, but I'm going to dust this off. But you can see that it has yellow, and I distressed it, and there's some glazing and some other colors in there. So whatever color goes with your color scheme, just use that frame. But this is perfect for fall. So the back is that paintable wallpaper. Now the backing is paintable wallpaper, and it looks like I had done just a light gray wash and then a little bit of brown glazing, and I'm just going to leave it that way. It's sort of subtle, and I don't really want to repaint it. I have enough projects to paint, that's for sure. So this is super easy. If you get a frame like this, of course you'll need to get the appropriate size. I went to Hobby Lobby and I got a few things, which I'll show you later on, probably in a haul or as I use them throughout the season. And I got this cute little owl. Isn't he adorable? I love how his little beak sticks out. And it's metal, of course. It was 50% off. It has a little place to hang it. Of course, I'm going to try to just hot glue it on here so it's temporary. But it's flatter, so it's a great way to get an owl in your decor without having to sit it somewhere. So this was $23.99, and it's a decent size. You can see my hand here. So all I'm going to do is use hot glue, hopefully, and temporarily attach it to this backing. And it's an easy way to get a quick piece of art, and you can just pop that back off and use the frame again later. It shouldn't damage the backing. And it's so versatile. You can put any color back here that you want, any pattern. I do have some really pretty napkins that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I could use one of those as a backing if I wanted to. But I'm just gonna go ahead and leave what's here. I could put a fabric in there as well, but again, I'm just gonna leave that and see how this looks. I think this project was super simple, and I'm thinking I may switch out the background and add a fall pattern behind the owl. I'm not sure, but I do like it the way it is. It's very simple, so we'll just have to see as the season goes on. For the next project, I am recycling these thrifted frames again. I had this pretty plaid fabric in them for Christmas last year, and so for this fall season, all I'm going to do is simply take that fabric out and replace it with one of these napkins that I found at Hobby Lobby. I just cut it into smaller squares and replaced it, and then I also touched up the frame with some gold paint. So for the next project, I started with a pumpkin that I painted last year, and I never finished the flower arrangement that I wanted to put inside of it, so I decided to complete that for this year. So this is actually footage from last year. I painted the pumpkin with several layers of orange and brown paint to give it some texture and dimension, and then all I did was carve out the top of it to make a floral vase. And so then I used Mod Podge to adhere moss the whole way around the lower half of the pumpkin. Now fast forward back to today, I glued floral foam to the bottom of the pumpkin. I added white hydrangeas that I bought last year at Michael's. I added 2 of these fall picks from Hobby Lobby. I added some of these greenery swags that I found at Hobby Lobby, and I hauled them in one of my previous videos. And I'm also going to be adding one of these purple cabbages that I got at Hobby Lobby. It was 50% off when I got it. And here is the final look of the pumpkin-filled floral arrangement. I ended up using several flowers from that $2 thrifted basket arrangement, and I mixed all of those in with floral pods and orange flowers from Michael's. I really love the variety of colors and textures. I'll probably either use this as a centerpiece on my table or on a console table somewhere else in the house. I think this is a great transitional piece from the end of summer into the beginning of autumn. And the last DIY project that I have to share with you is the second and third makeover of this vintage owl. I painted this owl last year in a previous video, which I will link below, and I decided that I wanted it a lot darker. So I got out several dark colors and I started with a watered down wash, and it was looking fabulous. And then Murphy showed up. The paint just started peeling off and there was no stopping it, so I had to scrub it all off. Well, in case you didn't see the original makeover video, this is why I ended up painting this piece. I thought it was a good option for it. One, because the paint job was horrible originally, and also it was broken and someone glued it. It appears, or it may just be cracking on the surface. Actually, yeah, it's not cracked the whole way through yet. Hopefully it doesn't. So anyway, that's one of the reasons why I chose this one for a makeover when I originally did it, and I am not going to stop. I am going to get this to the finish that I wanted it. And I can't believe all of that paint came off. But you know what? Chalk paint, certain paints, they are reactivated when they're wet. And because I, instead of using a glaze or, well, even a glaze would do it, but a watered down paint certainly reactivated this and it just came right off. These were fired back in the day. I'm trying to get this paint off from behind his eyeball. And this is a very well baked on top coat. So I know chalk paint says that it'll stick to anything, and a lot of times it will, but I'm going to tape off the eyes here instead of going back with chalk paint as the base coat. I'm going to tape off the eyes and take it outside and give it a base coat and then go from there and let that dry really well, and hopefully it will stick and cover. Now, I may do this Rust-Oleum Modern Farmhouse Metallic Gold. It has paint and primer in it. You can use it on wood, metal, and more. Now, I'm not sure if this will really stick, but it should. And I just really need something as a base coat, and I don't want to use a stinky primer. So I'm going to take this outside and spray it, either with this, or I think I have a dark brown or an oil rubbed bronze, or maybe even a matte black outside. So I want to go do that and I'll be right back. After that gold base coat dried, I just started layering paint. Now, I really love the look of the owl, but after seeing it on the video, I think that I may end up doing a little bit more and tweak the color and then top coat it. And if I do that, I will definitely share the final product when I do my Decorate With Me videos for fall. And here are all of the finished DIY projects. Now, I have a huge list of DIY projects that I hope I can get finished this season. Sometimes everyone on the list doesn't exactly get completed, but I'm going to do as many as I can, and I will share them with you as I get them done. I enjoy my creative time so much, and it's so therapeutic for me and relaxing as well, even if it doesn't go as smoothly as I want it to or turn out exactly how I envisioned it. As always, I encourage you to take a closer look at some of the old items you may have laying around your house and see if you can use them in a new way. I love mixing old items with new items for a more interesting look and style. Please let me know in the comments below which project was your favorite and if you might be inspired to do a similar project for your home for this fall. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and when you subscribe, make sure you turn on your notification bell and select the option all so you won't miss the next video.